Well, let's get Hemant Kanoria, CMD of SREI Infrastructure now. Mrs. Kanoria, hi, good morning. The first question that the market wants to know is what's happening to the shares that you hold in United Spirits. Yesterday also we had a block deal. There was a buzz that SREI was the seller, but it came out that that was not the case. But what's your plan with those shares?
Actually, our plan is very clear, which we have been articulating since the last 1 year now, since we have made an investment, that this is the securities which we have of USL share is against the loan which we have given and which was novated from ICICI Bank. So therefore, till the time that we see that there is a threat that the loan will not come back, we don't have to go and liquidate the shares. So at this particular juncture, we have not yet decided that we will be liquidating the shares to get the money, because we don't see that it is in an unsafe zone. So we are happy. It is our business is to lend, and this has been invested through a fund. So therefore, there are other investors also. No one is at present panicking that they need to get their money. So therefore, the fund, when it takes a decision of getting the money from the borrowers, and if it does not, in the event that it does not get, then only it will go into liquidate the shares. Before that, there is no reason why we should panic.
Mr. Kanoria, but United Spirits stock in itself is double since you got it on account of your loan. The IRRs as well on this would be much higher than what you would have earlier anticipated. So is it not a consideration that, given the kind of money that you made on it, that you all would look to liquidate it and cash out?
No, as a matter of fact, it is like the fund has taken the loan, and actually SREI is a fund manager. So therefore, it's taking a classical example that someone has borrowed against their house, and if they do not pay, then only the lender will go and liquidate the property. Just because of the fact that the property prices are appreciating, the lender will not go and liquidate it and make a profit out of it, because the lender's business is to lend and earn an interest. The security value increases, which is good for the lender. So the similar position is for us where the fund is concerned. So the fund has lent the money, and today the security is appreciated, so it is good from the security perspective for the fund.
Saying that you still have hopes of recovering money from Kingfisher in that case?
Yeah, definitely, because as I said that we have good security, so therefore there is nothing to get concerned about it. In the event that we do not get the money, then we will go into liquidate the security. But at this particular juncture, that situation has not arisen.
Sure. So is there any timeline that you have decided in principle that by when will you see if the money is coming, or at least there is some indication of money coming back before you take the step of liquidating the collateral?
No, they would be. You see, the fund, the investors at present are comfortable. As soon as the investors say that they want to get their money back or they would like to liquidate, then we'll have to take a call accordingly, because it is through the fund. So the fund, the investors have to take that decision.
Okay. Mr. Kanoria, is there any kind of an internal agreement with Diageo perhaps that when the time comes to exit out of United Spirits, that perhaps you all might sell to Diageo, because Diageo yesterday has increased their stake in United Spirits via the open offer, via the open market. So is there any kind of an agreement between the two companies that when the time comes to sell, whenever it is, that instead of selling in the open market, perhaps you all will sell it to Diageo?
No, we have no strings attached, because it's the security is basically, we didn't want to have any strings attached to it. So therefore the fund managers would have their independence to take whatever decision they feel appropriate at that time, and which is best for the investors.
Okay. Could you just tell us, as of now, what is the total holding of United Spirits that the fund has?
That's a little difficult to say, but it would be between the range of 3–4%, I think. But I'm not very sure about it, because it is well secured, because it is not only the USL shares, but there are other securities also which is there, which the fund has. So it is not limited to just one particular security. Unfortunately, the USL shares are in the limelight, so continuously we keep on facing the barrage of questions on that. But there are other security also to back up the loan against which the fund is invested.
Fair enough. So let's move on then from this point then. What's happening with the Beyond Networks? Any updates on that particular stake, sir?
No, Viom is doing well as a company. I think that it has seen the worst phase of the telecom sector, and within that particular times also it has done well, and it continues to do well. So it is on a strong footing where performance parameters are concerned, whether it be operational cost or the turnover, the profitability. So therefore, we're very happy with the portfolio and that company.
Sure, but the IPO plans did not materialize, so there was some buzz in the market that maybe the principal shareholders would look to sell some stake because the IPO didn't materialize.
No, actually I think that all these particular companies, there's a lot of conjecture of the market, but I don't see that there is any IPO which we are planning immediately in the domestic market. So the board will decide at an appropriate time what is best for the company. Definitely there could be opportunities of raising resources in various ways which will reduce the liability, which will also give the shareholders a better value, because the company is doing well. So every shareholder, every investor would look at an opportunity where they can maximize their returns.
Okay. When we spoke to you, sir, in our last interview during the earnings, you said there is some slowdown in the infrastructure sector, and therefore the company was careful in their disbursements. And when you see your numbers, disbursements were quite flat in the last 2 quarters. Can we expect a pickup in the in the remaining 2 quarters?
No, I don't think so. Unfortunately, you see the way the economy is moving, especially where the infrastructure sector is concerned, we have not seen any concerted effort to address the issues, and there are some fundamental issues which have to be addressed. Unfortunately, it's still not happening. There's a lot of buzz, the government is trying to do a lot of things, but still, some way or the other, the bullets are being fired, but it is not going onto the board, it is not hitting the bullseye, it is all getting scattered everywhere. So therefore, I think the way the government is going about in addressing the infrastructure issues, it requires a real change of their strategy, otherwise things will not come on course.
The NPAs were quite high in the last 2 quarters, or they increased at least the NPAs. Can we expect another increase in the NPAs in Q3, or will the picture be a little better?
No, NPA is basically a lot of provisions which has to be made, has been already done. And as an organization, we always believe in being a little more conservative on making provisioning, in the sense that we would go ahead and make certain provisions which may not be immediately required, so that it is we reflect a conservative picture in the balance sheet. And at the same time, there is a lot of effort which is going in realizing the money. So therefore, going forward in the next 2 quarters, we do not see increase in the NPAs. As a matter of fact, that it would decrease, and some of the money that which we are realizing will also come back into the company. So I'm not alarmed or overly concerned on the NPA situation, because it is manageable and we are managing it.
All right, Mr. Kanoria, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us. That is SREI